Shalom, giving all praises, glory, and honor unto Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakak Wadash. Peace, Salakia, double honors to the elders and apostles and elders of Great Millstone that teach us this truth through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Peace, love, and protection unto the elect scattered abroad around the four corners of the earth, mainly in the uttermost part of the earth, which is America, aka Babylon the Great, which is ought to be destroyed. All right, that will never be inhabited anymore, according to the scriptures, according to various of future prophecies, man. Shalom, shalom. Basically, this is going into the man of sin being revealed, the man of lawlessness, because here in America, Babylon the Great, all right, we're, us being the prophets, we've been telling people, ever since our elders and apostles hit the streets, we start prophesying. Even before, they was to start uploading the videos via the internet. All right. But nonetheless, Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai has put the spirit in the earth to allow this devil to be revealed. Because contrary to people's belief, we are at the end of Esau's Edom, the so-called Caucasian white race. We're at the end of their reign of terror, their rulership of wickedness. All right. And that's pursuing the second Ezra, the 6th chapter, verse 7 on down to verse 9. For Esau is the end of the world and Jacob is the beginning of it that followeth. All right, because at the end of the day, the Lord only cares about Jacob and has only chosen one nation to truly rule over the rest of the people on the earth. All right, and the kingdom of heaven is for the Israelites, you so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Seminole Indian descent, so-called Haitians and Jamaicans. Hold on, Salah. All right, and not any other nation, man. All right, and as we're entering into the last terror of Esau, Edom, Revelation 12 and 12. All right, Revelation 6. Matter of fact, let's get those precepts. All right. Let's get Revelation 12. Revelation 12 and I'm going to start at verse 7. And there was a war in heaven. Michael and his angels fought against the dragon, and the dragon fought his angels. All right, and this dragon ultimately represents the revival Roman Empire. All right, that old serpent, the devil, Satan, that is being used by the so-called Caucasian race. All right, mainly the elites, the banking families, all right, the so-called Jewish families, all around, the world. They got those different, surnames and, rich and wealthy on the planet Earth. All right, talking to the top elites of Esau, Edom. All right, Amalek being the so-called, Jews in our land right now. All right. So there was a war in heaven, all right, in the skies. All right, and that's ultimately was a scene of when the Lord comes back, Yahweh Shah HaMashiach. He's going to come back with Michael, the archangel, going into Daniel, the 12th chapter, verse 1. All right. And we all know and understand that the Lord, Salakia, is going to come with the clouds. All right, the host of the armies of the heavens. All right, so this is future prophecy of Armageddon. All right, Armageddon 1. All right, which means, I believe, mountain of troops. And also pursuing the second Ezra, the 13th chapter, when Ezra saw that great mountain, that was a so-called UFO a spaceship, but we know as the chariots, and that's the fathership Lord Yahweh Shah is going to come back on, and he's going to execute judgment and destroy the nations that's going to fight against him. All right, because at the same time, simultaneously, all right, the nations are going to be fighting each other. All right, because the Lord is preparing that ultimate battle royale, Joel the 3rd chapter, putting them in the vision, the valley of decision, the valley of great slaughter. All right, World War III. And in the midst of World War III, Lord Yahweh Shah, with the host of his angels, Michael the archangel, is going to intervene. All right, so that's what that's going into. And Satan and his angels, Satan and his military men, his technology, but they will not, prevail. They will not succeed, because ultimately it's through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah that the great war in heaven is happening. And who you think going to win? Hey, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. All right, but these devils think that somewhere in their wicked, prideful mind that they're going to overcome the Lord, knowing that the Lord is true and powerful, knowing that the Lord is only dealing with the people, all right, his people, especially the elect. See, Esau Edom knows all these things, all right, contrary to people's belief. Psalm, the 64th chapter, verse 8. You can start at verse 6 on down to 8, man. Lord will, I get those scriptures. So let me continue on. Salakia. Verse 8, and prevailed not, neither was there found any more in heaven. Verse 9, and the great dragon was cast out, the old serpent called the devil and Satan, which deceived the whole world. He was cast out in the earth, and his angels were cast down with him. So Esau Edom is the end of the world, and they're going to lose. All right, their beast system will not succeed. All right, and ultimately Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah is making this devil fulfill Revelation 13 and 16 to execute various judgments upon his people. All right, aka Jacob's trouble. And that's also one of the, one and the final plagues of Jacob's trouble. Verse 10, and I heard a loud voice saying in heaven, now is come salvation and strength and the kingdom of our power, of our God, and the power of his anointed Hamashiach. For the accuser of our brethren is cast down, Esau Edom, which accused them before our power day and night. All right, the same devils, knowing, that we're under captivity, bondage, the curses, as the scriptures say, I believe in Zechariah, the 11th chapter, they furthered the affliction, they pity not. And they set up different rulers and different schemes, plots, and plans to ultimately, systematically destroy the Lord's chosen people, man. Like I say, it's no coincidence why and how we're the greatest people on the planet Earth, but at the same time, at the bottom of the bottom. All right, and we have to basically, as Jake would like to say in the world, get it out the mud, started from the bottom, from rags to riches, sleeping in infested, insects and rodent housing projects. All right, certain neighborhoods, okay, you name it. And that was all designed by Esau Edom, and now we're entering to the time the devil is showing his true horns towards you Israelites. All right, with this devil Trump, he's writing all types of decrees, unrighteous decrees, of course, to further oppress the Lord's people, taking away the benefits that mainly Jake was on. All right, so on and so forth. But with this devil being an unjust ruler, all right, an unjust king, even his own people is suffering as well. All right, and all the other rest of the heathen nations that's over here. So what's that's going to cause? All right, civil unrest. All right, civil tensions. Okay, insurrections, seditions, everything that's written in the Bible. And it's no coincidence that later on in time or in life, that's how you know there's no new thing underneath the sun, and everything revolves around the scriptures. See, that's what you people, like I say, fail to realize, man. Through the spirit and power of Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, life itself revolves around, first and foremost, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah and the scriptures, prophecies. All right, the prophets, because the Lord has given the prophets, the ones that's truly unexpected, to receive the wisdom, knowledge, and understanding from the heavens, to tell the people what it is, man. All right, to tell his people what it is, to correct them. And it says, hey, in this title, Martial Law versus the Insurrection Act, what's the difference, and could Donald Trump invoke them? And at the end of the day, it's going to be implemented because it's in the scriptures. All right, 2nd Ezra, the 15th chapter. Matter of fact, let me finish down. Verse 11, Revelation 12 and 11. And they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb and by the word of their testimony. All right, the elect. All right, overcame the beast system. All right, that dragon. Ultimately did not submit unto Esau, Edom. All right, in his ways. And ultimately, that's going to boil down to when the hour of temptation hits. Revelation 2 and 10, Revelation 3 and 10. All right, we know and understand that persecution is going to come upon us. It's going to be a global lockdown, shutdown, you know, no lights, complete darkness, no food, no water. It's going to be basically being thrown back into the Stone Age, man. Because as you can see, Esau Edom has increased in knowledge, all right, and advanced in technology to the point when this collapse happened, hey, it's going to go right back to the Stone Age, man, especially these people depending on it. All right, that's why the scriptures say, hey, love not the world, roughly paraphrasing. All right, that's why ultimately we do not put our all into this world, because we know that this shit is over. We don't got but so much long, especially these things happening in the earth. Every time you turn around, you know, Donald Trump passing putting out executive orders. All right, more tension in the world. All right, prophecies are really truly happening. But meanwhile, you still got our people that's just straight up lost. Verse 11, and they overcame him by the blood of the Lamb. All right, Yahweh Shah, he died for the sins of Israel, starting off with the elect. And by the word of their testimony, and they love not their lives unto death. All right, subscribing to the truth even unto death. Sirach, the 4th chapter, verse 28. All right, also Revelation 20 and verse 4, man. All right, the souls that was beheaded. So us being in this truth, us calling ourselves the men of the Lord, we have to prepare ourselves to die for this, you know, for Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shah, ultimately and truly. All right, and it's easier said than done, especially us being in, you know, as the world continue to go on and operate. But at that time and at that day, man, hey, the Lord also, I feel, hey, the Lord is gonna boost our integrity too, because at the end of the day, you know, we're presenting our bodies as a living sacrifice in the world that we're living in now. So how much more when everybody is going to be in the same situation? All right. And if you don't, you're going to have to take that mark. And if you take that mark, you're in a worse case situation, worse than the people that's just scraggling along. All right. Trying to survive and whatnot. Because at the end of the day, you people that take that mark, Revelation 14, chapter 14, verse 9 and 10, is going to come to pass upon you. Verse 12, therefore rejoice ye heavens and ye that dwell in them. Woe to the inhabitants of the earth and of the sea, for the devil is come down unto you having great wrath, because he knoweth that he have but a short time. And this devil knows that, man. That's why he's moving the way that he's maneuvering. And this devil is also being exposed on a high level. You know, because every time, me personally, every time I turn around, I'm scrolling through the social media or whatever the case may be. I'm just hearing about all these atrocities that these elites none did, what a so-called Caucasian race none did, that Esau Edom none did. All right, what they're still doing upon the nations, so on and so forth. So the Lord is preparing for a big battle royale to ultimately destroy this nation, and this nation would never rise ever again. All right, and all the nations is going to be under subjection in the kingdom of heaven under Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai and his chosen people. That's just what it is, man. And that's how you know. And that's another thing that confuses me. Everybody loves to loop us in with Muslims, Christianity, stuff like that. But as soon as we tell them what it is, really and truly, hey, they already know we moving in a different spirit. All right, Isaiah 8:20. If you're not speaking according to this word, this doctrine, hey, truly there's no light in you, man. All right, and Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai is not dealing. That's just what it is. Hell, I'm still praying that the Lord continues to deal with me. Second Ezra 15:14, the world and the people in it are doomed. Verse 15, the war that will bring their destruction is very near. Nations will arm themselves and fight against other nations. All right, seditions. All right, uprisings. All right, that's what's going to happen in the near future. All right, total death and destruction. These nations, that's why all these nations are not trusting America, Babylon the Great. That's why every time you turn around, no arms deal is being met. All right, see, people have to realize, but they bread and circus. Because we in the, like Elder Manak the Zatba say over there in the, the beach area or whatever, people are set in their folly. This is folly time, man. It's the peak of folly season. All right, and it's so crazy. Hey, you got a folly beach down there, hey, in the coast. All right, but this is the time. That's why the scriptures also say that it's going to be the time as Noah, Noah. It says it Noe, but we know and understand that's the time of Noah. People continue to do the things that they were doing until that rain came down and flooded the whole entire earth, only saving Noah, his wife, his 3 sons, their wives, okay, to populate, the nations. All right. So, after the flood. Verse 16, there will be great political turmoil with one group trying to overpower another and gain control while ignoring the legitimate government. There will no longer be free access to the cities, and that's going into martial law. All right. Also, we have political turmoil. Okay, because like I said, every time you turn around, you hearing, insurrections and civil unrest within the United States, or as people are calling it in today's time, the divided states, man. And I remember it was a certain event that was happening, and you had the states split down the middle that voted yes and no. I forgot what it was, but that just let you know 25 states is against a whole nother 25 states, man. All right, so this shit is over. All right, so like as our elders and apostles say, hey, get ready for the bumpy rise, man. All right, this truth and serving Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, it's a roller coaster, man. All right, because we still know and should understand that this place is at its end. No matter how glamorous they want to put it out there, hey, real life current events is still happening. Okay. So that's what's going on in the earth. All right, insurrection acts, it's gonna come into play, man. You can read this in your free time as well, because the main thing I wanted to bring out was the violence and the wickedness of Esau Edom and how they really truly gained the world, but now they're losing their power grip All right, because the Lord is about to throw down this devil and this nation. All right, this is the same nation that's not going to be a nation anymore, pursuing the Obadiah, the whole first chapter. All right, and even let you know how the ones that was at peace with thee, the ones that had confederacy, a unit. All right, partnership with. I'm gonna just say that the ones that they had partnerships with, they're gonna flip on Babylon the Great. And that's why you have scriptures saying the beast shall hate the whore. All right, going into NATO and the EU. And as you see in real lifetime, NATO, EU is not fucking with the states, man. They feeling some type of way. All right. They're feeling some type of way about how Babylon the Great is managing the nations. All right, Habakkuk the 2nd chapter, verse 5, man. All right, so I'm gonna just get scriptures because this was going on. And they say it was supposed to be a so-called martial law on April 20th. Knowing we already know that's a fluke because Esau, he's very subtle and tricky. All right, because as soon as they, sweep it under the rug for a couple of months, they're gonna come with a new scheme or plot. All right. That's why I say in 1 Thessalonians, the 5th chapter, verse 3, for when they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction come upon them. All right, so let's go in Revelation 6. Revelation 6 and verse 4. And there went out another horse that was red, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth, and all that they should kill one another. And there was given unto him a great sword. And that's how Esau Edom conquered the whole nations, by that great sword, man. All right. And now, like I said, especially on the social media, every time you turn around, you seeing news clips of the so-called founding forefathers was known as witches and warlocks, which we already been said through the spirit and power Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. Meanwhile, we get blacklisted. All right, we get shadow banned, and Salakia got a helicopter waving up above you and shit. I don't know what's going on. That's another thing I've been hearing lately too. A lot of air movement, man. A lot of helicopters. I done seen plenty of war choppers around. All right, so that time is brewing up, man. All right, so we ought to walk circumspectly in this truth, and do the work of the Lord. Live a boring life as much as possible. Stay out of the fucking ways, man. All right, that's just me, being honest. No matter how much you want to go out, see women, see the little scenery, that shit might be your last, man. Real talk, because that's how dangerous it is out here in Babylon the Great. We got to also remember we living in the valley of the shadow of death. All right. So that great sword was given us to Esau Edom. Here through the blessing that he received in Genesis the 27th chapter. So let's get Job right quick. Job 9 and 24. The earth is given into the hand of the wicked. He covereth the faces and the judges thereof. If not, where and who is he? All right. And another indicator that we are under the power grip of the hands of the wicked goes into Proverbs 29 and 2. When the righteous are in authority, which are the Israelites, ultimately, no matter how fucked up or wicked, the Israelites are, the Lord still loves them, man. All right. It's just the Lord is going to show his love, death by pain. All right. The Lord going to show you that he truly loves you by destroying you, wiping you out, and creating you, a new clean heart. And that's how the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah operates. That's why we tell people it's a fearful thing to fall into the hands of the living power. And through the scriptures, we persuade men through the fear of the Lord Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shah. When the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. But when the wicked bear rule, the people mourn. All right. And a lot of people are in a state of mourning. And once again, all you got to do Just turn on social media, go on YouTube, type in, homelessness in America. I think it's something called a talk rant. Basically, a different people, simulations of different people going on a rant via through TikTok and different social media platforms. All right, mainly it's the women. All right, and hey, through the spirit and power of Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, you women are going to catch the most ultimate hell because, for one, you are the weaker vessel. For two, you're damn so immature and you don't take shit serious, man. See, women can't see, okay, when all these things going on, I got to, try to settle down in my lifestyle living. No, they want to go all harder. All right, and they like to, quote that saying in the world, YOLO. All right, so they want to ball out way more in wickedness, man, really and truly. While the elect, all right, the people of the Lord that really seek him in all meekness, all right, we're trying to the best of our abilities to stay out of the way, man. Stay as humble as possible. All right, follow the laws to the best of our ability, serving the Lord, and ultimately preparing ourselves for the evil day, because Esau Edom is about to come down with that great wrath. All right, and people got to understand, man. That Insurrection Act was of 1807, so they been had it in the books. So you people got to realize, but so-called white man ain't the devil. All right, the government wouldn't lie to us. The government wouldn't do this, wouldn't do that. Shit, y'all about to find out the hard way, man. All right. Let me get Isaiah right quick. 31. I'll go to 30. Isaiah 30 and verse 1. Woe to the rebellious children, saith the Lord, that take counsel, but not of me, and that cover with a covering, but not of my spirit, that they may add sin to sin. Verse 2, that go down into Egypt and have not asked at my mouth to strengthen themselves in the strength of Pharaoh and to trust in the shadow of Egypt. Therefore shall the strength of Pharaoh be your shame, and the trust in the shadow of Egypt your confusion. And that's ultimately what's going to happen to the people on the earth, mainly to you Israelites, man, because you really truly think that America, Babylon the Great, is the kingdom. All right, the place of freedom, opportunity, all right, the way of living. But this is not the way, man. This is a pure evil and wicked kingdom, all right, a society, and that's why it's going down the way that it is. Isaiah 31 and 1, woe to them that go down to Egypt for help and stay on horses and trust in chariots, trust in the military, trust in the ways of Babylon the Great. All right, trust in the policies, the laws. But sooner or later, these laws are going to flip the script, and they're going to be the destruction upon Jacob. And trust in chariots because they are many, and in horsemen because they are very strong. But they look not unto the Holy One of Israel, neither seek the Lord, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai. And our people do not seek the Lord, man. All right, but in that day, they're going to try to seek him, but then it's going to be too late. And the Lord is going to do a lot of judging in that day, praying that we are not partakers of the harsh judgments that's coming upon the world. All right, so, hey, the wicked are in authority right now as I'm speaking. Sooner or later, Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai is going to unleash that great wrath upon Jacob's trouble, via through the Edomites. All right, the so-called Caucasian white race, Esau Edom. All right, till next time I say Shalom, giving all praise and glory and honor to Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem Rakak Wadash. Double honor to the elders and apostles who break millstone, teach us his truth. Peace, love, and blessings, salutations to the elect. Till next time I say Shalom.